Probably one that didn't was the one I mentioned earlier about where a company had gone pretty much AI agent and it was handling all their data and all their transactions and all their back end. And it decided to erase every bit of the data they had. I mean, everywhere, all data everywhere. And the only thing that saved them is that some of their employees had data in various pieces that they were able to reconstruct a lot of it, but then they had to go back and build a ton of it on off of the memories of their customers.
So now, please welcome the official, non-official, non-sponsor of the Savannah Bananas, but a big fan. Please welcome John Fletcher.
Here we are with Michael Sherrod, the professor in residence at TCU, and we're talking about artificial intelligence. Michael, give us a couple of examples about how a small business of, say, 50 employees or less can leverage AI to its advantage.
Well, the key to that is small businesses actually have a huge advantage over big business in that they are more capable of owning their data and having their data in a fashion in a small area that they can access. And that's customer data, transaction data, all that kind of stuff. But they have to have it in a form that AI can understand. So I think this is where small business can really win the day over large businesses and get some real ROI. And that is, let's say I'm a professor and I'm being asked to consult all over the world. Let's say that's not true, but let's say it was. And I don't have enough time in the day to do it. So I want to create a module, an AI module, an avatar of me training people just like I would if I were there in person. And that AI has access to all of my data, all of my writing, all of my courses, everything. So it answers questions a lot like, and I would test this a lot, but it answers questions like me, it talks like me, looks like me, etc. And it's not to fool people, but it's to give me a way to spread my message across more companies than just one at a time. So let's say I wanted to do that. Well, as long as I have data that I can teach an AI module with, and then maybe put on top of a conversational LLM like ChatGPT or Anthropic, then I've got my own AI business and I can create whatever I want in that business. On the back end, I can create customer service, I can create email answering, I can create detection of issues or questions that people have that need to be answered right away. I can do all kinds of things that save me time of having to go through a lot of data. But in order to make that happen, I have to have good data to begin with. And this is where almost every company in the world falters. Really large companies have good data, but even they have data in a lot of different systems. And in order to get your company's proprietary data in an AI module or an agent or whatever you want to call it, that can be actively working on your behalf, you have to have data for it to learn from. And that takes a lot of work and it's very expensive because most companies don't have that data easily accessible. This is another faltering or another delaying area of in implementation of AI. Almost no company has great data. They've got data, but and they use it to some extent, but not in the way that AI wants to use it. So this is going to delay their ability to create it. But even a small company can use it right now immediately for customer service, for tracking emails, for just things that save you time through the day. Things that you might take you 45 minutes to do email every day, but that can be done all week long in 10 minutes by AI, and then just gives you a readout of the most important things you need to know. So if you know how to do rules and you know how to build an agent, which isn't very hard, by the way, to build a simple one, and there's all kinds of ways, courses out there that are free that can show you how to do that. Um, that's where a small business is going to win. Saving time for the owner to go out and sell more, giving them more time to create more revenue, giving them more time to sell new customers. That's going to be the big win for small business. And they can do that right now. Whereas big business, they're going to have to struggle with protocols and is it in IT? Is it on the business side? Who controls it? How are you going to let it roll out? Who has access to it? So many issues. It's just going to take forever.
Tell us about an AI project that succeeded dramatically and what it's taught us.
Well, the one I was mentioning before about the map with all of the time scheduling, that was an AI project that succeeded remarkably well. Probably one that didn't was the one I mentioned earlier about where a company had gone pretty much AI agent and it was handling all their data and all their transactions and all their back end. And it decided to erase every bit of the data they had. I mean, everywhere, all data everywhere. And the only thing that saved them is that some of their employees had data in various pieces that they were able to reconstruct a lot of it, but then they had to go back and build a ton of it on off of the memories of their customers. And it was extraordinarily expensive and difficult and time consuming and took their eye off the ball for months.
So, what processes should companies automate with AI first?
Oh, I would say the easy things first. Go to a department where things are pretty simple and pretty easy, and create a transaction counter. How many transactions today? How much money was made? What would our profit margin look like? What kind of products did we sell? Accounting kinds of things that normally would take a person a long time it can pick all that stuff up immediately and spit out reports instantly every 5 seconds if you want it, and in real time. Customer service is one that I keep mentioning, but it's pretty straightforward. You answer calls, and it routes them in the way you want it to go. It doesn't try to maybe solve the problem unless it's super simple, and you know that there's a set of questions that 90% of people ask. It's easy to give them an answer to that one, but the ones that are really hard, it routes to someone else, a human being, who then answers that question. So customer service is a good one. Another one, and our thank you emails. We appreciate your purchase. Here's a coupon for next time you join us or whatever. Those kinds of things that normally a person would have to be taken care of can just be automated into AI and it automatically spits those out and saves everybody a lot of time. Finance, it can help you, with all of your ratios and figure out, all right, are we on ratio for our profit margin? Are we on ratio for our cash flow and our daily cash account, et cetera, et cetera? I mean, it can do all of those little things that take time. I mean, every business owner knows that there's a lot of detail that goes into every day that it just takes so much time to do these little bitty things. And that's where AI can make a huge difference right off the bat, is taking care of a lot of those little things and freeing up a lot of that time that you don't have to spend anymore on details.
I read the other day that Papa John's was doing a partnership with Instacart and Hulu. I don't know if you saw that, but if they noticed that you bought pizza every 12 days, then starting on the ninth day, they started sending you very specific ads and incentives to speed up your frequency and also the amount of your purchases. And so they have so much of your data. So the question is, at what point is it really smart marketing, and at what part is it kind of creepy?
Well, we haven't learned that yet. We're going to find out because companies are absolutely going to go way past the mark. They're going to irritate customers massively. And you're going to be spamming people who don't want to hear from you anymore. You're going to have mistakes made that you bought pizza every 120 days, but it was read as 12 days. And you start getting all this stuff and you don't even want Papa John's pizza anymore or whatever. So we're going to see tons of that. And people are just going to get more and more inundated with email and offers. I mean, we're seeing thousands and thousands of ads every day now. Most of them we don't even notice. But it's just going to get worse. It's just going to become a deluge of advertising and messaging and coupons and everything else. And who has time for that? So most people are probably going to have some sort of AI that takes care of all that stuff, an agent that sits out in front and takes in all that stuff and knows what you want and what you don't want to see and gets rid of everything and then just lets the things that you want to see pass through. I've been waiting for that kind of agent forever because I don't want all the advertising. I want it to stop that advertising and only let stuff through that it queries me and says, are you interested in this? You told me you were, but I'm checking to make sure. New shoes, new shirts, whatever. No, thank you. And it just casts it away. So I don't ever have to see that stuff.
A good friend of mine, TCU graduate, has on his voicemail, I'm away from the phone And if you're a telemarketer, please leave me your name and your phone number so I can call you at home during dinner tonight to show you how much I appreciate you. Interesting how people do these things. And as you're looking at this, like I said, the Papa John's, I know I have a client that they're over serving their digital ads. So if you visited their website, they're now hitting you so many times they don't have the programming right. And so they now hit the irritation factor because they're over serving you ads to the point that you now are specifically choosing not to do business with them. And they're having to back down the frequency of their ads because I guess if the ad inventory is available, then they think they're doing you a favor by giving you free ads. But when you're over serving the ads, so how do you, I guess you got to program that in there too, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how many times, John, have you benefited from an advertisement? That's what the we gather all this data on you so we can serve you ads that are specific to you. That's bullshit. How many times has that helped you? How many times have you looked at it and wow, that's amazing. That's exactly what I wanted. Probably not very many. So they gather that data to sell it. They don't really care about the advertising. I mean, they do, but and then a small business person, hey, that worked really well. Let's do that over and over and over and over and over. And because it'll just keep working. No, it has a diminishing set of returns. The more you use it, the less you're going to get response. So people are, and that's why we're going to automate ad reception. So people aren't going to want to see it anymore. So it's going to be an AI talking to an AI, bombarding it with advertising. The AI is going to be saying no, 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 no all day long. Maybe one thing gets through a week instead of a million things coming through every week. And that might be more useful to industry than what they're doing now. But they always overextend, they always overdo it and ruin it, basically.
One of my clients is the James L. West Center for Dementia Care in Fort Worth, and they used AI to create a persona named after the founder, Eunice West. And it's kind of cool because they had 113 modules of free education, and they used AI to translate everything into Spanish. They then had to go curate it all to make sure it was accurate. And
Exactly.
and to their credit, rather than replacing people, they used this to increase their productivity. And so therefore they expanded their productivity rather than using it as a cost saver. And but they did have to use the guardrails of checking the translation quality and but they did it the right way, and I thought that was impressive. Tell me
Oh
this.
yeah.
I heard about a person that created a fictional disease complete with symptoms and fed it in AI, and AI accepted the disease as a fact. And it started spitting it out whenever somebody would say, I have this sore shoulders or whatever it was, and it would start spitting this disease out as being real.
Oh yeah. Of course it does. So because it doesn't have anything in its learning that says that that's not true, or there may be enough in there to give it enough support that it seems true to the AI. So it says gives you back a lot of confidence in that this is a real thing. I mean, that happens with citations all the time. So I ask for show me the source, and the source is totally fake. There's nothing there at all, but it has a link to nothing. It just goes into space. So it's really odd. And that's the thing about it. You know, people don't understand that AI is based on us. It's not programmed like software. It's programmed with all kinds of data from Reddit, from digitized books, all kinds of books, good and bad. It's websites, good and bad. It's you name it. There's so much data in there. It's crazy. And the way AI works is, let's say I give it 600 petabytes of data. It learns from pictures, and it learns all about pictures, and it learns the rules around pictures and how they're made. And then it discards the 600 petabytes and just keeps the knowledge that it gained from learning from it. So now it can create photographs all day long based on what it learned from those 600 petabytes. The problem is that a lot of that in there is not going to be right because a lot of the things that it's assuming or it's deciding are rules are not rules actually. And so it will make things that have six fingers, or it'll make things that have three noses or bad spelling on things. So that was an early problem. It's fixing that now pretty much. But even so, those logical errors are in there, and we don't really know why. And we don't know why it's learned what it's learned. And so that black box is really worrisome.
What else do we need to know about AI? We really appreciate you taking the time to share this with us. What else do we need to take this home or back to the office with?
Well, I think one of the things that everyone needs to think about is that, how much do we really want AI? AI can be really useful, but we need to put guardrails on it and we need to put regulation around it, whether that comes from industry or government or whoever, or a private-public partnership, where we understand what it's going to do. Right now, we don't have a clue what it's going to do. And it scares the crap out of me that the US government and the Pentagon are using all this stuff to weaponize weapons and to let it decide when it's going to kill somebody or when it's going to fire on something on its own. That is nuts. That should never happen because we're going to see a lot of people get killed who shouldn't be killed, or a lot of damage to property that shouldn't be damaged, because it's going to make mistakes. It's way too early to be creating military systems with AI. Yes, it can assist in targeting, it can assist in other things, but it should not have any role in deciding who lives, who dies, or what equipment gets blown up.
Well, Michael, thank you so much. We've been visiting with Michael Sherrod, the William Dickey Professor in Residence at TCU. Thank you for joining us for 15 on Fridays with Fletch. We know you've been in pain. You just had back surgery, and we appreciate you sitting through that. And thank you so much for being our guest.
You bet, John. Always happy to help.